Hi guys, School here. Welcome to another episode of Row Roots, this mini playthrough series. Things are cracking on. Thank you for your comments and suggestions, by the way, and observations. Definitely helps as we kind of work our way through this map. I'd like to expand a little bit today. We've been saving up the cash. We've got some experience points. We can convert some green into red as well if we need to, which I think we might need to. One of the things I want to do today is try and finish with the coach yard, but there's some expansion I want to do first because as it stands, the stations we have don't really lend themselves to a coach yard. Cumbernauld, maybe we could get away with one, but it would link in, would be horrible. So I'm kind of thinking Glasgow Central looks like a nice place for a coach yard. It has a bit of space around it, but I'll explain more about that as we go along. One thing I do want to do is I kind of want to redo some of the track around here with this single track piece here. I think somebody suggested that you can actually double track through there, but you can't. Like the tile that has the wall in it does not let you through in any shape or form. And I think I incorrectly said to you that we can tunnel it later, and we can't do that either. So I do have to correct myself on that. Tunnels cannot go through walls, nor can they go through stations or auto blocks. They have to observe the rules of the map, just like track. Tunnels are just basically normal track, except they're underground. But these are like infinite barriers vertically. You cannot go through them, under them, around them. Sorry, you have to go around them, but you can't go through them in any way or underneath them. Same with stations, which does make some maps particularly challenging and interesting. This is probably one of them. I'm just going to quickly pause it because I want to rebuild some track here. So I did notice this. Look at this little thing. When we come to build a track, we can't build here, nor can we tunnel underneath it. What an absolute pain that is. That's going to make things interesting. I think what we'll do for now is we'll grab Queen Street Platform 1. We'll grab this tunnel here and this tunnel here. We're going to go out to Glasgow, but I don't know which platforms we're going to need to buy initially, so I'll just leave it at that for now. What I want to do is get rid of this single track. What I'm thinking is we can hopefully come around here and therefore create a one-way sort of anti-clockwise loop. So instead of trains bottlenecking through here, I'm kind of hoping we can have trains come around, ignore Springburn, come through here and go to Queen Street. Which brings me to another point. I think I also said commuter trains will stop at every station as they go through. They do not. They only stop at scheduled things. So we might as well grab that. Let's start deleting track. Always interesting when you do this. Let me just upgrade those as well. And that one to make sure we've got all the high-speed track. Right, let's set about tearing things apart. You will find yourself doing this more than once as you play this game. It's just something that has to be done. So we'll take that apart, and obviously we're going to have a single track through here, but I think I'd like it to come down to platform 4 like that. Maybe go like this. So if we're doing an anti-clockwise run, 4 and 5 can go back out that way if they need to. So what do we do with Springburn? How do we get Springburn stuff into here? Well, the first question is, do we want anything from Springburn to go westbound to Ashfield? Arguably we do, but given the constraints of the map, it may or may not be possible. Certainly what we need to do, we can't do anything about this. You have to have one square coming out from the platform edge. What you can't do is go straight diagonal like that. It's very annoying, but that is a constraint. Like everything has to be like that. So we can't get rid of that first square, and then we've got the X, which we kind of need. So the first square we can come off really is this one. So we can come out that way, and then we could make our way perhaps around to platform. Do we want to go like that? Or do we want to go one back? We can go one back, I suppose. Do it that way. And then, you can say, well, can we branch off there? Well, maybe we can. A lot depends how we get. Actually, thinking about it, if we're coming through Springburn and we want to go out that way, we could kind of use platform 1 to do it, maybe via a tunnel. So at the moment we can kind of go that way potentially if we draw that in. So we can come that way. However, when you come inbound from Ashfield, if you want to go through there, you will have to go through platform 4 unless we do some shenanigans over here with platform 3. But when you're coming back this way, you'll want to go there, which means you will need a switch. We will need a switch to handle this, and this is where this branch becomes a problem, because we can't put a signal here. We need to signal things into Queen Street, and we would have to put it there. Whether that will work or not, I don't know, given that we also potentially want to branch that way through a tunnel. Okay, so if I put that down, we could then have, for example, an arrival sensor anywhere back here. It doesn't matter where it goes. We could have an arrival sensor, which would then drive things into Queen Street. So it will happily switch things into those platforms. That's fine. What it won't do is it won't switch traffic that way. To do that, we would also need to add a routing sensor anywhere back here. That would do. And we say, right, you also drive that. And then you would add a route table to say, if you go into Ashfield, then go that way. Otherwise, go this way. And this is where it falls down, because we don't really want to say, go to this platform. We want to kind of hop it to the next signal, and we can't really do it. This is why switching does become very difficult. So I think what we'll have to do, we'll just have to leave it like that. We'll say, if you go into Ashfield, go, change this. So it will force that signal to go that way. And when it trips through there, if it's for Ashfield, nothing will happen. This won't change anything. But if it's not for Ashfield, then this will change the signal to go that way. So that might work. We'll see. The other thing we kind of need is to go, if we want to go to platform 1, we're never going to manage it apart from a tunnel. So that would have to be via a tunnel. So let's leave it like that for now. Let me just upgrade that to an auto signal, because we'll definitely need that as an auto signal. In fact, we will very likely need it to be infinite like that. We'll have a look at the tunnel aspects in a second. So back here, what do you want to do back here? Well, I think what we want to do is go straight through like that. We will need to create an X, possibly, so that we can then... so we could use platform 2 as a terminus platform by doing this. Let's put the auto signal on the way out. Don't know if I'll use it, but it's there. And then this track here can follow the line of the wall and route things that way. So that will then take traffic through there, and then this westbound traffic will come this way and be routed accordingly. I think that'll work. Meanwhile, down here, let's assume that this is a one-way system. We want to get traffic from here, so we'll need to build out initially, and then we can go like that. So that will get traffic coming this way if it wants to go north. Some of the traffic may, of course, want to come through Queen Street. Now, if we say platform 4 and 5 is for anything up here, and then platform 2 and 3 are kind of the east-west lines, then that simplifies life a little bit, because what we can do is do something like that. And then, of course, platform 1 might want to link in, and then we would probably want to do... Can we go through there? Like that, and then create a diamond there like that, maybe? Does that look okay? I think so. So platform 1 could be used to go north or east, and then platform 2 and 3 you can get in and out in either direction, and you can go north. So that's quite flexible. We probably need a bunch of signals to drive it, mind you, but that should work, shouldn't it, in theory? I think what you'd probably need to have an auto signal. If that's going to be an outbound, you'd want it there for sure. And then you probably need to drive an inbound arrival sensor. Say, what, you can put it there, or you can put it back here. Put it there maybe. And then that would drive that signal into that station there like that. The only thing is, anything that's passing through may not know where to go, so we probably need to have let's think about this. Probably want to have an auto signal back here with a routing sensor on it that would say, if you're going to Queen Street, then you want to go this way. If you're going to Ashfield, you also want to go this way. Otherwise, you want to go that way. And to do that, we would need to specify the tunnel. So that should route things northbound or Queen Street and Ashfield, and then that will arrive them into correct platform, I think. All of this is going to be pretty untested, and still we aren't testing it. So, yeah, as is the way with this game. We have broken some stuff back here, so this one's not happy. It's saying station cannot be reached from selected signal. Not sure what it's... Oh, it's an arrival sensor, that's why. Hang on a minute, why can't you do that? Station cannot be reached. I think let's just delete it. It's obviously configured for the... Oh, we can't change it yet because it's locked. Station cannot be reached from arrival sensor. Signal, it's driving that signal into Queen Street. I see what it's doing. Yeah, it's going to have to drive the arrivals into Springburn instead. And then platform 1 can be the default. So it will now drive that signal into Springburn, which most of the time it will just be passing through to platform 1. The only time we really need it is when things are going to platform 2, I think. So yeah, we may need to couple it with a routing sensor, maybe. The default is 1. Well, let's try it, we'll see. Coming out of this tunnel here, it will need to be defaulted to be infinite. That's defaulted to be infinite. That should route things into here. I think we can probably unpause it and see what happens. I'm not convinced if we put anything... Oh, there we go. What we need to do here. Yeah, because the arrival sensor... Let me do this. Because this traffic is not arriving at Springburn, it can't clear that signal because we do need to have an arrival sensor on that. We may want to put them the other way around. So what I might do is... We have, let's get rid of that, put a routing sensor there and then an arrival sensor after it. You can drive that to that station and you can drive that signal, and effectively your default would be to platform 1. So what will happen is this sensor, when a train passes this sensor, it will default to platform 1, so it will switch that, and then the arrival sensor gets a chance to override it. So if something's coming into platform 2, it can say, hang on, no, let's change that. So that should work. That's now pre-selected platform 5. Now, what may need tweaking is this. Let's have a look. Auto block is going that way for Ashfield or that way. No, that's fine. That's fine. That should, in theory, clear that. There you go. It has done. So I think that is now working and is now a one-way loop, which is nice. The only thing I'm not sure of is traffic going to Ashfield. Would it route correctly? And I think it will, because we specifically said, clear it through that tunnel if it's for Ashfield. So I think that loop works. Maybe we get a contract later for platform 2. I don't know. The other question I had was, can we have traffic coming this way, go that way? Because right now, anything coming, say, from Glasgow can go onto this north or northeasterly track. But anything coming back this way cannot get back to Glasgow because this crosser diamond switch only puts you through 4 and 5, and there's no way down here. We'd have to put them on 4 and 3, and we just don't have the space for it. We do not have the space. So one option, maybe, is to jump them down to platform 1 and send them back that way. So platform 1 is effectively just track. Think of it that way. That's a possibility. Can we do it? That's the question. Can we branch off here? Let me just pause it. So if you cancel that a second and say, can you come off here? Right, now to build we need to unlock tunnels, don't we? Okay. Tunnels are under controls. 20 red experience points and 60 green. We'll need to convert. We'll convert some stuff. Let me show you a little tip about converting. So when you convert green to red, you click on it and you click upgrade. And then you sort of wildly clicking. Why can't I actually... Waiting for it to time out. This is grayed out. Yeah? I want to do it again. So the trick, and it's weird, you have to click it, click upgrade, click it again. Upgrade, click it again. Upgrade, click it again. It's really tedious. But it's better than waiting for this thing to go away. That gives us 20 red. So we'll go and unlock tunnels. Tunnels can connect two track ends regardless of existing tracks in the area. However, the connection between these ends still has to be possible within the area limitations. Wall stations and auto blocks cannot be undermined. Okay. At first, the tunnel can be really confusing to use. Right, really confusing. So let me show you briefly how it works. If you click on tunnel, you can't just place anywhere on the track. It has to be on the end of a track. Okay, so then you say, well, all right, let me build a better track. How about this track here? Right, and then can we tunnel to, I don't know, can we tunnel to here maybe? Track. What about that? Will that work? So you click on tunnel. It says possible. In other words, yes, you can start here. So you click on that. Connection to itself is impossible. As you move it around, it will show you possibilities. Now, what it doesn't do is it doesn't show you why. It just says nope, 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 nope. And you're thinking, why? Why can't I get there? Why can't I tunnel from here to here? And the reason is that if you tried to do train line to there, you couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it because of all the walls and the stations that are in the way. So let me show you an example of something that does work. Let's get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that. Let's say we want a piece of track coming off here. Can we connect that to here? Probably. Click on it and we go like that. It says not possible. And again, you're thinking, why? That looks like it should work. Well, it's because in this instance, this track piece here can't go that way. And it can't go that way to get around in this constraint that it has. It can't form an S-bend. And again, it's just down to guesswork. So if you add another piece, click on it now. Oh, look, it works. It is a little bit frustrating the way tunnels work. It gives you no clue. It just says no, 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 and eventually it'll say yes. So you just have to play with it. But the more you can point the things towards each other, the more it's likely to work. So, for example, we could have another piece like that, and you can see it's worth 40 grand as opposed to, so it was 2 grand to put that piece in. Doing that, that's 57.5. Now, it costs 2,000 to put a track down, right? 2,000 to put a track down there like that, and we went from 57.5 to 40k. And that's not the end of it, because when you put the tunnel down, although it's 40k, it's slow track. It's in blue. So to upgrade it is now another 3,360 per tile. So it's 40 grand plus 3,360. Yeah. So be wary. Try to keep your tunnels as short as possible. And sometimes just angling them like this extra tile here, just a little bit of angle, brought them closer together, we pay less money. So what did that do for us? Well, it basically means that trains coming through, let me unpause it, trains coming through here could now route that way through platform 1. The routing sensor would have to be told how to do this. And this is where it kind of gets a bit interesting because the ash-filled route will take us that way, and then everything else. Do we actually want to say everything else goes this way? No, we don't. because, well, actually we do as long as we have an arrival sensor. If you have an arrival sensor here, actually no, that what? Okay, I'm thinking ahead of myself. Let me try and explain. The routing sensor at the moment will send Ashfield traffic through that tunnel. Everything else, it's not selected to do anything with. If we basically now said anything else goes to another in fact we can't, because the signal's here. We need a signal here. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to put a signal here, and we can't because we don't have enough room. This is where this game becomes really annoying. So we probably have to do that instead, which is probably a cheaper tunnel. Luckily we can still do it. Upgrade the track, put an auto signal on it now. It does bug me that you can't put a signal on a non-straight piece. It really, really limits you. So now if we said default all traffic to this section of track, right, we'd have a bit of an issue, because all trains coming through here, if they're not for Ashfield, let's say for Queen Street, they'll then be routed onto this section of track. Oh god, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. Something is stuck. Why are you stuck? Going to Queen Street 5 because of you. You're stuck because I didn't set you back to infinite, so you've caused a backlog. And also, I need to fix this track, otherwise he's not going anywhere. It's kind of hard to explain from a logical perspective, but it's saying Ashfield traffic go down this left side, everything else go down the right side. Of course, if you do that, anything for Queen Street is not going to be routed down here. It's going to be routed down here. So what you kind of have to do is say, well, anything for Queen Street, yeah, has to be routed here. So we'll pick a platform, we'll say 5, but what should actually happen is when it then passes this arrival sensor, if it wants platform 4, this will then switch it to 4. However, what it may do is just add it to the queue and it'll break. I'm not entirely sure what it's going to do. We'll have to watch it in action, I think. Let's make that a green. So this may not work. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we know. We know you're late, buddy. We know you're late. Not a lot we can do. So he's going to Queen Street 5. So this is a good test. Although I think that was said go to 5, wasn't it? By default. So it would come through here, activate 5, and I think this arrival sensor may not be able to override that if he wants to go to 4. He wants to go to 5. He wants to go to 5. He wants to go to 5. So they all, as it happens, want to go to 5. If it wants to go to 4, I think it will be a problem. Anyway, so anything else will go to this signal here. Actually, it needs to go to this track here. Platform 1. Just like that. Get rid of that. You see, this has now got 3 queued up instructions on it, which is not good. It shouldn't have 3. It should not. I don't know why it's got 3. Let's get rid of that. It's just built up 2. Okay, so I think what's happening, this is interesting. I just learned something. So what's happening is this is building up. This is putting down a routing for 5. The arrival sensor is then putting down another routing for 5. They're doubling up on what they're trying to do. So this solution, like, literally doesn't work. We can't have things doubling up. We need to remove this. Otherwise, it's going to double up on what the arrival sensor is doing. It will queue a command to go here, and this thing has already queued a command to go there. So what that means is that we have a problem, because trains that want to actually come into Queen Street, we can't easily send them the right way with the routing sensor, which is a bit of a pain, to be honest with you. So what it means is we can't have a default track. What we have to do is we say, well, if you're going somewhere else, then you'll need to be routed specifically through platform 1. We can't use the default. We'll have to leave it without the default on. That should do it. I hope that makes sense. It is a little bit confusing, but you can't have this queue and instruction into one of these Queen Street platforms and then the arrival sensor doing the same thing. We could get rid of the arrival sensor, but then we wouldn't be able to route into different platforms because the routing sensor will not do that. That's okay for now anyway. So let's get on with Glasgow and we'll unlock some stuff over here. How much money have we got? 250k. Let's speed it up and try and get some money in. I'd like to grab increase max station limit. Okay, so we need to spend some money, some experience points on increasing the station limit, which is under here, Dispatcher Deluxe. Increase to 12 stations, so we'll upgrade that. And then we'll come in and we'll buy those. So we've now got Glasgow. We're probably going to want to go down here at some point, but yeah, we'll get them now, actually. Do we? I just can. No, we'll not buy it just yet. We'll need to change the track speed on these things here. It's all very slow. You see, we thought we had a lot of money and suddenly we don't. That's how it works. Right, let's try and get a coach yard in there and get Glasgow Central hooked up. I let the money build up a little bit. I think what we're going to do today is, I know we said you're going to do coach yards, but I think we'll just have to leave it on tunnels and things, which is what we've showed you today. Coach yards will have to be the next episode because we are otherwise going to have a very, very long episode. Interesting contract just came through for freight from Steps to Springburn to Steps. Now, we do have this spare platform here, so we can do this. Let's have a quick look at Steps. Nothing's departing immediately. This train will go there, so if we wait till after this commuter train's departed, as soon as it leaves, we'll chuck this one in and we'll route him into platform 2 at Springburn, and then we'll just need to be ready to send him back on his way, which we can easily do by activating that, because he's only passing Steps on the way out. This router will send him that way automatically. So there you go. Let's bring it in now, platform 2. He'll get automatically cleared through there. He'll get cleared through here. The only thing... Whoops. That just got sent the wrong way. That was not in the routing table. That's why. That's a mistake. Okay, so this is where, because we brought Springburn online, this router was not set up for Springburn. Yeah, and the default was to send it this way. Defaults can be a real pain. Right, so what we're going to have to do now is turn this guy around. It's not such a big deal because it's a freight train and they don't mind being a bit late. So we'll send him into 4 and spin him around. But if that had been an intercity train, we'd be in big trouble right now. Okay, so he's on his way back out now. Let me just double check that router. Steps. This one hasn't got one either, but it is defaulting that way. So this router will be fine. Unfortunately, this freight train is now reversing. If you notice, it only has one locomotive on it, so reversing is very, very slow. But these contracts with freight are usually a very low average speed. Commuter trains have a locomotive on the front and back. Freight trains and intercities only have it on one at the front. So when you're reversing intercities or freight trains, it can get very, very slow. Now, the default platform for this is platform 2. So this routing sensor will probably try and default him here, and then this thing will try and... Yeah, I don't think this is going to work because we have a default here. I don't think this is going to work when he comes out. I'm going to have to manually do it. The route sensor might try and queue off the back of us. Yeah, see what happened? So I put in a manual route, and then the routing sensor tried to send him on his way as well. It does appear that having a routing sensor that defaults cannot be followed by an arrival sensor, because inevitably it will queue before that one. Can we do it the other way? No, because we're still going to double up on our arrivals, I think. Unless, I don't know, maybe if the arrival sensor activates, 1 second. See, I can't clear him through there. need a departure sensor to handle this. We could always add one, I suppose. Departure sensor, put that there. And then just say default that way, because it is literally the only way. That way, that will automatically cue this guy when he's ready to leave in 48 minutes time, because I won't remember to do it. I'm just thinking about this, because if the arrival sensor comes first, then when a train comes in, if it specifically wants Springburn, it will have a platform listed. Otherwise, it will say, I want to go to Springburn, and it will set a course for platform 2. It'll then be followed by this, which will try to default him. But I don't know if it will queue it off the back. I think it probably will. Yeah, I don't think this combination works, is what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? Like, it works if they're exclusive of each other, like this one here mostly works. Just because anything going to Queen Street is exclusive of anything going, it's a different branch is what I'm trying to say. Whereas doing what I'm doing here, arriving into a platform and also routing through the platform, I think is going to lead to doubling up of routing queues, I think. What do you think? I won't touch it. Let me know what you think on that. But that's what it feels like. Anyway, before we run out of time today, I want to try and do some more stuff down here. So we'll probably want to do something like this. So I'm thinking what we'll have is we'll have stuff coming through here, which will probably use platform 6 and 7, and then anything here can use maybe 6, 7, 4 and 5, possibly more. I don't know what we can get away with. Let's start off by routing along here as best we can. I think we can probably get to about there, like that. And then if we branch off here, okay, we can get to 3. So I can safely branch up to 3. That's nice. And then we need to leave a space. Let's diamond cross that. Obviously these will link into here like that. So anything coming along from the west can be routed into any of those platforms. And then anything coming out of 6 to 3 can actually go west if it wants to. That's good. If we've got something going on here, let's think, can we link that to like that? So anything coming through this tunnel, go to 6 and 7. I don't think we'll get them any higher than 6 or 7. We might get away with 5, maybe, but then that would be, I don't know if that's going to work or not. It could possibly work. What I'm thinking is anything from here that wants to go through the network, at the moment it can come back that way, but it can't go westbound. So what if we perhaps, can we like tunnel it from here to here? Like that. Will that work? Oof. Not sure about that. 111 grand. Well, that then. Ha! Well, isn't that interesting? Blimey. Look at that. Well, that's a lesson learned, isn't it? Look. So if you do from here to here, it's 111 grand because of all that tunnel. If you remove a section of track, it drops to 40 grand because it can just make a nice little loop through. Look at that. That's bonkers. And the other thing we thought about just before we built that, the other thing we thought about is it possible to perhaps go through like this? And put the diamond, I'm going to get rid of that, put the diamond like that. But can we still do our little tunnel? I don't know if we can. Unless we go that way with the tunnel, that might work. 36 grand. That's even cheaper. Look at that. Look at that. So now we can get trains in through here into platform 4, 5, 6 or 7. So we'd obviously need to have an arrival sensor on that. Oops, not an arrival sensor. An auto signal on that to govern the inbound with an arrival sensor perhaps here. So he governs him into there. Yeah, so 5, 6 and 7 arrivals are taken care of. When they come out of 5, 6 and 7, obviously they will need expensive signals coming out again. And they will all need departure sensors. 20 grand a pop. And they can go back out that way, or they can go out west. That's lovely. I like that. Quite happy about that. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. We're going to have to pick up some contracts to take us there. Another thing we might need is something to govern the arrivals here. So an arrival sensor, where we go, we can't put it back here. No, there's a flaw in the plan. Oh, that's not good, is it? Can we put it? Well, we can put it there, but then we can't get into platform 3 and 4 if we put the signal there. Oh, that sucks. It was looking so good, because if we put that there, we can put our arrival sensor. Can't put it on any junction, look. That's really painful. What if this didn't exist? Ugh, and we can't get into 3 or 4 at all. That's so annoying. Or perhaps we can tunnel them out of here into there. So we lose that section. Don't think that helps, actually. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, because if we put it here, we can't put an arrival sensor anywhere, and that's no good, because we can't arrive into 3 to 7. Oh, the constraints of the game. Can we just make it 4 coming through there? Don't think we can. No, you can't come through there because of this diamond. Unless you push that back. So we then put our signal here. Arrival sensor there, and that sends them into platform 5, 6 and 7, which is only 3 platforms, not as many as I wanted. But then can we make the rest of it work? Going that way, can you get back this way? Yes. Can you get into there? Yes. Is that good enough? So what you can't do is you can't come inbound into platform 5 unless we send him through that, back down that one-way piece of track, which I don't want to do. But that would get you into 6 and 7, so anything coming from here can stop at 6 and 7. 5 can actually depart that way, but I'm not really sure what use that is, given that you can't come in to platform 5. Unless we send it down that piece of one-way track, which is possible. You know, we could do that. I don't know. I shall have another little think, but I think we'll have to leave it there, guys. We've kind of run out of time on this one. Let me know what you think about that, and I'll have a read of your comments as well. I think we've done well today. We've done tunnels twice, so we've definitely learnt about tunnels and their constraints. One other thing before I leave, though, is if you need trains to loop around, tunnels are not a terrible choice. Let me show you how they work. So what you can do is you can do this, and then you can say, I want a tunnel to there like that, see? And obviously, because it's a tunnel, it doesn't interfere with any track you might lay across here. Sorry, across here like that. If you wanted to have track coming in like this, you can do it because it's effectively underground, isn't it? So it's an option. You can, of course, manually lay track as well, but you know, don't forget it's another tool in your toolbox. I'll put it that way. Anyway, sorry it's taken so long. A lot of thinking involved in this game, but next time what we'll do is we'll get some contracts going with Glasgow, and we'll put a coach yard down, and we'll start picking up some coach yard contracts. So not quite what I had planned, but we definitely learned some stuff about tunnels, and I'm quite happy with this track layout. But give me your thoughts on this arrival routing sensor thing. And that's it from me. Take care, guys. Happy training.